Oh, Pookie, this is yet another good topic.
They're all good topics, Bob.
I don't even think good is a good word to describe it. This is an excellent topic.
Great, fantastic, fabulous.
And it is how to create an environment for personal growth. How to create an environment for personal growth. So let's kind of let's recap a little bit here. We have been talking a lot lately about this 3-step process that we sum up with the words heal, activate, and connect. Say it with me.
Heal, activate, and connect.
And yes, it's a 3-step process that that we're going to be using for personal transformation. We've used it in our own lives. We've used it in the work that we do with other people, and yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff. Last Sunday, we actually covered the very first step. See, within each of these heal, activate, and connect categories, there are actually little mini steps within each one. And so in the heal, which is the first stage, the very first one is what we covered last Sunday. It's identifying your limiting beliefs and not just glossing over that, really spending time going deep, right?
Yeah.
And identifying those things that are holding you back.
Yep.
That's the first step. Before you have an awareness of what that internal subconscious programming is, it's a little harder to know how to right the ship. Second part of that is getting your mindset in order to start to counter that and create and basically etch new grooves into your brain and your mind and your soul.
Yeah, reprogramming your mind. It's powerful work.
And so that's that work is that internal stuff. And that includes affirmations and just positive self-talk and a lot of other things that you do, and certainly some music that you listen to.
All makes a difference.
Yeah.
Everything matters. It really does.
And so you're starting to do the internal work of stating what you want, not what you don't want, because it takes a little time to replace those limiting beliefs that you have about yourself that are ruling your world. But in addition to the internal work that you do as part of this healing process, the third piece of that is to create an environment, a physical environment that supports you.
So important. Oh my gosh. Environment really can make or break you. Mm-hmm. You know, I know that sometimes my environment will prevent me from being creative, or, you know, like if my environment is kind of out of order or disorganized, I have a really difficult time, you know, moving past that, like being creative, allowing my my creative thoughts and process to flow, right? Because there's just so much clutter all around me. It's very distracting.
So funny that you said that, because that's the first tip. I have a clipboard here with a laundry list, a long laundry list. We're going to try to get through as many of these as we can.
Well, we were just talking about this the other day as far as my creativity and my environment, right?
It's well known. Well, Pookie and I have been living together for almost 17 years.
Yep.
And we know each other, each other's little quirks.
Pretty well.
Yeah. And so, Pookie definitely cannot. Yeah, she gets agitated if there's a big mess around her. So that part of your creating an environment that supports your personal growth is to have organization and
order,
some amount of cleanliness, order.
Yes.
Yeah. And so if you have clutter in your environment, and let's not even talk about my home office here, because I have some issues with that.
But you can work in it, Bob. That's the difference.
It doesn't agitate me when I'm focused on my work, but I realize it's still probably subconsciously doing some things maybe that are not supporting me. But if it would behoove you to clean up the area, just your home and wherever you spend your time,
tidy it up.
Tidy it up. There's I think a popular book with that with that title. It's Marie Kondo, right? Mm-hmm. Kondoize your life. And so that's an important step is to declutter and maybe even minimalize. Cut back to the bare essentials and just so you can.
I don't know if I could do that, Bob.
Well, let me go on extreme. There are people that really go down to like everything they own is in one suitcase or something. But that's
8 items.
Yeah, we're not going that far.
I don't know if could you do that? 8 items? I mean,
no, there are really people that do that.
Yeah, there are.
You really know what your important stuff is. Then,
that's very liberating, I guess, on many, many levels.
So again,
talk about detachment.
Yeah. Exactly. So again, we're talking about the things in your physical environment, not the mental work. That's step 2 in that healing stage. This is like physically tangible things in your environment that you interact with. So a lot of times it's like your home and office decorations or what you put up around. And so these are things that we've mentioned before. But like you can put up inspiring quotes and images. There were maybe they're still popular, but there was like those. This particular company that had all these motivational things, like
Oh yeah, I
pictures.
remember those.
There was a name for
You
it.
found them a lot in like offices and stuff like that. They were like motivational messages or something, but they'd have like a mountain, and then there'd be like some word up there, like persevere, and then
Right.
they'd have like a quote underneath it. I
Right.
remember them. Yeah, yeah.
So those types of things, whatever speaks to you, but inspiring quotes and images. Another thing is just Post-it notes that you actually handwrite to yourself. They could be affirmations. They could be reminders of goals or behaviors that you want to enact, and you put them in places where you encounter them throughout your day. It could be on your computer, bathroom mirror, in the dashboard in the car, on the refrigerator door, which we go to a lot. Wherever you're going to see them a lot, and they're just constant visual reminders that, yeah, I'm upgrading my life. I am moving toward a more fuller expression of who I am, right? So those can be very powerful. Of course, people have been using these for a number of years now. They've kind of popular vision boards is where you
Oh yeah, for sure.
where you
I've used them many times.
and there's digital versions of them, but we're talking about physical, tangible things.
Something that you can look at every day.
And you cut out, the classic way of doing it is you cut out pictures from magazines, if anybody even has magazines around anymore. You print them off from the internet. I guess you could create it digitally, like in Canva or something, and then have it printed, especially at a nice printing, send it to a print shop and have it printed off. But you want to just make it more than something that's on a computer screen that's up on your wall, again, where place where you're going to see it, and those images and those quotes remind you again of who the next version of you that you are becoming.
Well, wait a minute. I think I remember Deanne getting decals. And
Oh,
she
that's
put
right.
those on her wall.
On her wall.
And they had like powerful statements, powerful affirmations. So I know that you can go out and get these decals that actually have really beautiful sayings on them that you can put on your wall, and it's just like someone painted it on your wall much better than you probably could do, or I probably could do, but it looks really amazing.
And if you're creative, you can get like stencils or do or
Yeah,
calligraphy,
yeah.
hand,
Sure, why not?
Do it yourself. Also, photos. This is one I hadn't thought of before, but how about photos of yourself at peak times when you felt happy and successful, and you
Oh, yeah.
remind yourself of those times where, yeah, I have felt this way. I have accomplished things. And you get to pat yourself on the back. I don't think about it in terms of, oh, those are the glory days and they're behind me. No, you remind me of it reminds you of what you're capable of.
Right. And it inspires you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
inspires you too.
Because we
yeah.
sometimes forget, we're so stuck in the muck, as I like to say, of what is, if things aren't going our way or we think we're lost or whatever, that we forget about the accomplishments that we have achieved. And so reminding yourself that, yeah, I've done some pretty cool things, and there's a visual reminder of it every day, right?
I love that one.
You can also have pictures of people that you admire, mentors or people that you respect who have done cool things. As again, a constant reminder.
Yeah, people that inspire you, people that reinforce and celebrate you. You know, who recognize who you are and.
But they may even be people that you don't know. I mean, famous
totally.
people that actors or whatever, speakers or teachers that you've admired from afar, who just like are represent. Especially if it's not about the person or the thing, it's like how do you resonate with it? How are you reacting to that? If it's something like you see that person or you see pictures of yourself and it lifts you up, that's something you want to have in your environment.
Yes.
And you might want to I know about you, but sometimes after a while, I kind of tune out things that are always there,
Oh,
It's
my goodness, right?
so switch it up. If you find yourself like just kind of glazing over these empowering visuals that you have, then switch them up, change things
it around.
Yeah.
Move things around.
And in fact, that is kind of ties into this next one here is like sometimes we want to, I'm tired of living in this same old house, and you kind of get into a routine. So maybe you can't move. Maybe you can't go on a retreat or whatever, or sabbatical for 3 months. But you can do things within your own home. Rearrange the furniture. Put a new coat of paint on the walls.
Yeah.
Get some simple new decor things.
Change the colors in your rooms.
Yeah. Change the lighting, change the fixtures, or whatever. There's simple things that you can do just to rearrange things.
And how about the outside of your house? Like the feeling when you come home. Like if your outside is really beautiful and inviting and it's a reflection of who you are, that's going to give you a feeling when you walk in the front door. So what about the exterior? We're talking about the interior and moving things around and painting and bringing bright colors in and things like that. But what about the outside? Planting some flowers. Just painting your mailbox. Do different things.
Yeah. So just don't say, "Oh, this old house," take it for granted. One thing I mentioned before, I just want to touch on here. If there's something that you want to, you're inspired to do, and there's a physical outcome, like for instance, you want to write and publish a book, and eventually it's going to be a physical book that you'll hold in your hands. But in the meantime, it's just something. It's text on a computer screen. So bring that into the 3D world by maybe designing a mock-up, whether you do it yourself or you hire a designer, but you can just do this yourself and print off a copy of a potential cover. It doesn't have to be the final one, but it's something that physically represents this thing that you're trying to create. You can do that with a music album, to anything that will be in a physical form. Print it off, and so this is the thing that I'm working toward.
Yeah, that's a great visual.
That's a pretty powerful thing. Let's see here. Also in your space, let's assume, especially for those of you who have families, you have a spouse, you have kids, grandparents, whatever, you are roommates, you live in a place with other people. It helps to get support from the people in the household. So you may have to have some conversations about, I'm going to be doing this thing. I'm working on myself. I really want your support. And maybe there's a boundary as far as you ask them certain times when you're doing something to be left alone. Certain times or certain spaces in the house. I'm going to be in this room at this time. So when the door's closed, leave dad or whatever alone during these times.
Yeah.
And hopefully your people who you live with will respect that, but do the best you can to have those conversations. And maybe you'll have to get up a little earlier, stay up a little bit later at times without suffering loss of sleep too much. But see what you can do to rearrange and create that quiet space and time or whatever.
Yeah, because that really serves you. That's a time when you get a lot of ideas come in. Because you're really open at that point.
And this, in the morning in particular?
Yeah, in the morning. Mm-hmm.
And this is just a general good piece of advice here. Like, you may not, focus on the things that you have control over and let go of the things that you don't have control over. So you may not be in a position to move or go to a different space. You may not be in a position to not live with the people that you're living with, or there's certain circumstances that we have to accept, at least in the short term.
Yes.
And so accept those and then see, well, what can I control in this situation? Maybe it's just simply your response to it. Maybe you just have to get creative instead of get frustrated in carving out that time and that space for yourself. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, and so in your home or your apartment, you're having a dedicated space for working on whatever it is on yourself, whether it's just meditation or whether it's writing a book or painting or whatever it is. It could be a bedroom. It could be a little spot in the basement. It could be even a closet. Mm-hmm. If that's all that you have to
even if it's just a little area, inside of a larger room, just some place where you can have this opportunity to be creative in your space.
It's like your sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go there, it becomes like you respond to it. This is your place. So when you go there and you sit there, you kind of your body almost starts to get into that mode of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. It could be your garage. It could be the deck, of your house. It could be a little spot in the yard. We have a friend we just visited, and this guy, he has this space out in his garage. He calls his man cave out in his garage. It's this little corner of the garage, and he goes out there and
works
and does his stuff. Yeah. And it's not the most glamorous part of the house, but
it's funny,
But it's his space, right? And so,
Yep.
there's other things you can do. So when we're talking about physical space, involve your senses. So it could be lighting a candle. It could be like scents, like an aromatherapy. You burn incense or whatever that is, or what do they call it? Essential oils.
Yeah, essential oils. You could have aroma. Yeah, some of that where you distill steam into the air with essential oils, and you can smell it in the air. And also, they have those like little pots where you can put a little flame underneath, a little bowl, and it's designed to put the oil in, and you can just diffuse the oil into the house, which also has like calming effects too. You can look at lavender and lemon, and they all have specific things that they help you with. Maybe they help you to calm down, or for more clarity, or to activate your brain. And so there are many ways that you can use scents to bring in, right? Because our olfactory is really, really powerful in helping us. And have you ever just like smelled something that takes you right back to a place, like instantly, you're at your grandma's house or something, it's just like this smell will just take you. So they're really, really powerful, and they have the ability to help us calm ourselves or to inspire creativity and whatnot. So yeah, essential oils are really powerful.
That's very cool. And then let's other the five senses. How about sounds? So it could be again calming music. It could be upbeat music that you listen to that gets you energized, that gets you into that state of mind.
Yeah, sound. So what you listen to is so important. It's really important.
Because we sometimes tune it out as background music, but it's actually seeping in, right?
But yeah, the words. So sometimes if you're just listening to music like unconsciously, do yourself a favor and sit and listen to the words that are being sung and see if they're in alignment with who you are, because they might not be. And so you might want to just change that around, because your mind is taking that information in subconsciously, even though you might not realize it. And there might be some music out there that you're listening to that's not in alignment with where you're going or who you're becoming. So you want to kind of take a look at that too. But you can absolutely fill your environment with music that inspires you, music that makes you want to dance, music that excites you, music that can also calm you and bring you into your heart space. Yeah, music is very powerful.
It covers all those,
Yeah.
all those grounds. This is going back to having the dedicated space, especially if you're working on whatever it is, whether you're just having this place to meditate and journal in the morning, or whether you're doing painting or writing or whatever it is, but have a space where your tools are readily available. The things you need to accomplish that thing, whatever it is, are right there. So you don't have to go pulling stuff out of the closet or,
setting things up.
Yeah.
And then having to put it all away.
Ideally, have your journal ready to go, have your sketch pad, have your laptop or whatever it is.
Music already dialed in.
Yeah.
Your candles, your little lighter ready to go. Everything just kind of set up.
And if there's a book that you're reading of inspiring quotes or whatever it is, or your affirmations, have them queued up on YouTube.
Have them ready.
Or whatever it is. So
set yourself up for success.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about. If your physical environment combined with that internal work that you're doing is going to be a powerful combination. This is kind of a physical thing, but develop like routines, like a morning ritual is a great one.
Right.
So when you get out, especially the first thing you get out of bed, what are those things that you do? Maybe do your affirmations in the bed before you get out, or do some journaling. Get up, get your cup of coffee or whatever it is you do in the morning. Take the dog out, whatever But then have some sort of a routine that you get in the habit of doing. It's going to set the foundation for your day. And again, even though some of that is internal work, the physicalness of doing those things and sitting in a certain place and doing it on a repetitive basis is the main thing I want to stress there.
Yeah, it can be very helpful. Get into a routine. And it's hard to start one, but stay committed to it, because if you just keep going for it, you'll get into the groove of it for sure. For sure.
And then other things that just to make especially your internal. I mean, if you can get outdoors and have a place that you can sit outside and the weather's nice, that's great. But otherwise, ideally, you're in there's a sacred space or a dedicated space indoors. If you could have it near a window, if you could have make sure there's sunlight coming in, like natural light.
Yeah.
And if not, just do the best you can to create that. Whether it's photos of nature, but our house plants, right?
Oh yeah, plants are powerful.
Because we have lots of them here.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're living things, and some plants have the ability to clean your air, and they just bring about this this feeling of I don't know. Plants have always just been really special to me. They've always been a part of my environment. I love them, and they're like these living beings, and So putting plants in your space will definitely make it feel more. More of a natural environment,
organic,
yeah,
and they clean the air too.
Yeah,
right?
they do.
They have
They
the ability
do.
to do that,
and they love to be talked to.
and they'll talk back if you listen to them.
Oh yeah,
I don't speak plants, but Pooki does on a regular basis. She has kind of whole conversations. I think she's on the phone when she's talking to the philodendron.
I know.
Or something.
They listen.
And as far as regular space in your house, make sure it's a place that's comfortable and also supportive for like your back. If you're sitting for a while, just make sure that's comfortable and healthy and supportive, and you're not slunched, hunched over. So just that's an important thing. We talked about color choices. Bright colors, whatever lights you up, whatever your favorite color is.
Absolutely.
If you can't paint the walls then maybe get some other aspects, some other decorations around you.
Yeah.
Also, good lighting. Like if you're in a room that's dark and drab, that might not be as uplifting as if. Ideally, you want natural light coming in, but if you work at night,
not always possible,
or it's cloudy, then make sure you have adequate light, temperature too. I'm just trying to think of all the aspects of an environment.
I would stay away from fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pooki just has you have a preference in light bulbs. You don't like the LED the type things or like that.
Well, I like that golden kind of glow lighting, that looks more natural. The stuff that makes your skin look all blue and stuff like that. I don't like that light at all.
But you might like it, and if you do, then go for it. But yeah,
I don't think people like that.
So for,
I think they did.
But
I don't know.
There's probably somebody. But,
somebody out there
but it's how you are responding to it.
Yeah, whatever makes you feel good.
If it lights you up, so to speak,
right.
Then keep doing it. And then the last note that I hear on a big cavalcade of tips on how to create the perfect environment for your personal growth would be things like books and magazines, and people even have CDs anymore. But these are physical items that can be within hand's reach, so you can pull a book off the shelf and read a chapter or read a page or a book of inspiring stories, whatever that. So having all these things there that were reminding you that I am on a journey, and what's the whole goal of doing this, right? Is to remind yourself constantly that I am on a journey to improve my life.
Yep.
Right. And I'm serious and you're serious about this. That's what you're telling yourself. And so you're reinforcing that by the things the thoughts you're thinking, the new internal playlist of what you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
And then you reinforce that with the physical environment, the reminders that support that. You have all these things like it creates like a point of focus in your life that things are getting better. I'm improving. I'm moving toward my big, bold, bodacious goal, whatever it is that you're moving toward. You're raising your vibration.
Absolutely.
And that is what the thing that is going to quiet down those limiting beliefs that have got you stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, and just imagine how you'll feel surrounded by, things that inspire you and creating a space that just lights you up inside. Mm-hmm. Even that in itself will really change, the way that you enter into your day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so
right.
Powerful.
And if it starts to get and on a regular basis, change things up. Put new images, new books, new.
We're gonna do it, babe.
That's right. In fact, I'm gonna get busy doing that now.
Okay.
All right. All right. I hope you found this helpful. And now, as we like to say on these pre-recorded topics, back to you, Bob.